Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this timeline therapy intervention. We've already cleared out anger and sadness in the first session. We've come back today and we've repeated the negative emotion of anger and sadness, and we've released that once again. And now we want to release the negative emotions of fear, hurt, and guilt. As we do this work, we're also tracking Nini's heart rate variation. We're observing what's taking place in the heart. And using this heart math technology, we're making the invisible visible. You have a heart. It's been pumping since day one. For some of you, it might have stopped or felt like it stopped. And what we can see on the screen is we can see in real time Nini's heart rate variation and also the beats per minute. We know that these negative emotion and these states of stress do impact our heart and our heart rate variation. In addition, what you can see here in the green bar is we're tracking coherence. And coherence is the communication between the head and the heart. And what we've learned is there's 9 times more amounts of information sent from the heart to the head than from the head to the heart. And the heart is one of the first things that's developed as the baby is in the womb. So very important that we understand what's happening to the heart when we release negative emotions. Negative emotions like anger directly impact the heart. So it's always nice to see what happens before an intervention. And if you haven't seen part 1 or part 2, go back and view the beats per minute and the heart rate variation. And it does look like Nini was about to have a heart attack. Now, coming into this session, we've already released the negative emotions of anger and sadness 2 times. And we can automatically see that the heart rate variation is more stable and the beats per minute are more stable. In addition, that communication between the head and the heart and the head is stabilised, and the coherence is a lot better. It's remained in the green zone for the majority of the time. So Nini, let's begin and remove the emotion of fear. Are you ready to go?
Yep.
Is it all right for your unconscious mind for you to release this fear today and for you to be aware of it consciously?
Yes.
What is the root cause of this problem of you are not good enough? The first event which, when disconnected, will cause the problem to disappear. If you were to know, was it before, during, or after your birth?
After.
If you were to know, what age were you?
It's actually before. It was before.
Was it in the womb or before?
Before.
Was it in a past life or passed down to you genealogically?
Past life.
And how many lifetimes ago?
44.
44. Excellent. Now, I'd like to ask your unconscious mind to float up in the air, above your timeline, into the past, and right down into the event 44 past lives ago. Looking through your own eyes, and when you're there, notice the emotion that's present.
Yeah, the fear of making a mistake. Yeah, that's fear, yeah.
Fear. Excellent. Now, floating back up above the timeline and go to position number 3. Well before the beginning of the event, and any of the events that led to that event, and turn and look towards now. Ask your unconscious mind what it needs to learn from the event, the learning of which will allow you to let go of the emotions easily and effortlessly. Your unconscious mind can preserve the learnings so that if you need them in the future, they'll be there. When you have your learnings, tell me what they are.
So the positive learning for me is that as long as I stay focused, I can shoot the heart. So I see myself doing those sword competitions. So I think the positive learning for me is that as long as I stay focused, I definitely gonna win. And positive learning for me is that don't let the fear to control my life. I control the fear. So I have to be another way around. As long as I go and try it, and the fear will be conquered. And another positive learning for me is that I need to stay focused. It's very, very important. Once I make a decision what I want to do, I need to stay focused. Don't think about something else. Because if I think of something else, it will mislead me. So the positive learning is that I have to stay focused. Have to stay focused and enjoy life. Enjoy that moment, living in the present. Because only the focus will lead me to the success. And follow my leads. I think the positive learning is that, I am my own leaders. So spend time with the people that will help me to become a better person. Grow together with those people, those leaders. So positive learning for me is that open to some opportunity, open to the social life. Don't stuck in my own world. So, I have to be more flexible and interacting with different people. Be open to it, to talk about things and respect others' people different point of view. So I think is that being arrogant in a good way, still making friends, having that belief in myself, but also, making friends. So I think that's very important because the more friends I make or, connection I have, that actually can create more abundance in myself, in my life. It's really interesting. I think that positive learning is that the most important those people in my life that I should have the great relationship with is my children and my husband. And that will help me to become even better person because I enjoy being a mom, being a wife, being, part of their life. And because of that, I should have no fear because everything will work out the way I want it. And because the house is the foundation, so as long as this foundation is solid, is strong, I should have no fear. Yep.
Excellent. Now, where is the emotion?
Oh, my God.
Good. Where did it go?
Oh, disappear.
That's right. Now just float right down into the event and notice that the emotion has disappeared. Is the emotion totally gone?
Yeah, it's gone.
Good. Come back up to position number 3. Now come back to now above your timeline, only as quickly as you can let go of all the fear on the events all the way back to now. Assume position 3 with each subsequent event, preserve the learnings, and let go of the fear all the way back to now. When you're done, float down into now and come back into the room. Okay, welcome back.
Yep.
Okay, another big one.
Yes.
How do you feel this time round?
Yeah, it's really, first of all, my tear is very salty. It's really interesting to actually see those connections, like the dots. Because I remember one of the things, like I always say that, I don't enjoy being a mom. I don't feel like I'm mom material. But actually, when you look back, some of the positive learning, I don't know why it come out as like, enjoy. I think it's that living in the present and enjoying the role I have. So that kind of embracing each role, because each role brings different challenges. But once I embrace those different roles, I actually can having more peace in myself.
Excellent. And can you remember any event in the past where you used to be able to feel that old emotion? And go back and notice if you can feel it, or you may find you cannot.
No, I see myself really calm and can handle a lot of things.
Good. Come back to now. And I want you to go out into the future to an unspecified time in the future, which, if it had happened in the past, you would have felt inappropriate or unwarranted fear. And notice if you can find that old emotion, or you may find you cannot. Okay?
Oh, good.
Okay, excellent. Now, I want to pass you my phone and take a look. That was at 8 minutes into the intervention yesterday when we started to release the emotion of anger. Mm-hmm. Now, have a look at the screenshot in my hand.
Yep.
And now have a look what's happening on the screen real time
Yep.
with the beats per minute of the heart.
Yeah.
So what you can see is that currently it's fairly stable from around about 80 to 90 beats per minute. Mm-hmm. There's a couple of peaks there heading up to 100, but fairly stable between 80 and 90. What you can see on the screenshot here in my hand is that yesterday the heart rate variation was really fast and really dramatic. At 8 minutes yesterday, the heart was racing from anywhere above 100 all the way down to below 50 in a fraction of a second.
Yeah, that one does look like, having a heart attack or something. Like really high.
So what does that tell you? Just in 24 hours, what does that tell you between what this looked like yesterday and what you can see on the screen now?
Definitely more intense yesterday, before or in the between of, during the sessions, having that intensity of, like I say, the negative self-talk. But I feel like today, like I said, those voices not there anymore. So I actually feel more peace today and ease, more relaxed, which is good.
Now, take a look here in my hand. We're having a look at when we're releasing the emotion of anger yesterday, and you can see that that level of coherence is really low.
Yeah.
So it means that the communication is really poor between the head and the heart, really low. It's redlining.
Yeah, pretty much.
And here you can see today it's staying in the green zone for the majority of the time. And remember, the heart sends 9 times more messages to the brain than the brain sends to the heart.
Yep.
And what it says is that coherence level is really high today.
Yep.
So how do you feel in terms of mental and emotional clarity? How are you feeling at this present moment?
I feel at the moment, to me, it's like, I think there's more way to do things. Like at the moment, I feel there's more alternative, more options. Like yesterday, to me, I feel like my brain just stuck in one thing, like couldn't get it out. But now I feel like, okay, it's actually, there's different approach. There's more options that I can do. And I think one message for me is that I need to take it easy. Don't be too rush. Does that make sense?
It does.
Like, take it a little bit easy. Don't be too rush and too hard on yourself. You push too hard.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, let's move on to the negative emotion of hurt. Is it all right for your unconscious mind for you to release this hurt today and for you to be aware of it consciously?
Yeah.
What is the root cause of this problem of you are not good enough? The first event, which when disconnected will cause the problem to disappear. If you were to know, was it before, during, or after your birth?
After. Oh, before.
Before? Was it in the womb or before?
Before.
Was it in a past life or passed down to you genealogically?
Past life.
And how many lifetimes ago?
12.
12. Now, I'd like to ask your unconscious mind to float up in the air, above your timeline, into the past and down into the event 12 lifetimes ago, right into position number 4.
Yeah.
Looking through your own eyes, and when you're there, notice the emotion that's present.
Yeah, I feel hurt. I feel not being wanted.
Hurt, not wanted.
Yeah.
Now, float back up above the timeline and go to position number 3, well before the beginning of the event or any of the events that led to that event, and turn and look towards now. Ask your unconscious mind what it needs to learn from the event, the learning of which will allow you to let go of the emotions easily and effortlessly. Your unconscious mind can preserve the learnings so that if you need them in the future, they'll be there. When you have your learnings, tell me what they are.
I think the positive learning for me is that I come to this world is because the God thinks like, I have some certain purpose, so I am wanted. Positive learning for me is that I shouldn't take others people's emotional baggage on myself. So the positive learning for me is always need to remember that I always need to love myself first before other people can love me. And always believing myself that I have having that self-worth. And the positive learning is also that, throughout the time, the more I learn, the more knowledge I have, I actually going to become more knowledgeable. I actually bring more value to the society, to the world, that bring me even more worthy and valuable to the world. And because of that, I am wanted, because people want my knowledge, want the experience I have, because it's important. So
anything else?
I think the positive learning also for me is that self-pity is not helping. So instead of self-pity, I should just, having that encouragement and, that confidence and motivation in myself to moving forward, because nobody gonna come and save me except myself. So remember, another positive learning is that, what I'm doing, always learn, get those knowledge and become the best I can. I always have the resource that I always can have the resource that I need. So ask for help. If I don't understand, go and ask for help. Bring more value in myself, because only I add the value to myself, and then I can bring those value to other people's. And by then, I know that I'm worth it. I'm wanted. And I am wanted.
Excellent. Any other positive learnings for you, for yourself, and for your future?
I think positive learning also for me is that hurt is part of normal emotions. So talk about it, express it. If anything that may I feel uncomfortable, but find a way to solve it, using that as a learning resources, but don't let those holding me back. So I think again is that using those elements as a part of the story, part of who I am, and make me become stronger and better. So embracing those challenges that has been happening in my life, because that actually made my life having more fun, more story, more things to talk about, than the people who just have very normal and plain life. So I think I should appreciate those spice in life. Yeah. And see it a different way and appreciate it.
Excellent. Now, where is the emotion?
Yeah, it's gone.
Where did it go?
It has disappeared.
It did. Now just float right down into the event and notice that the emotion has disappeared. Is the emotion totally gone?
Yeah.
Good. Come back up to position number 3. Now come back to now above your timeline only as quickly as you can let go of all the hurt on the events all the way back to now. As you're in position 3 with each subsequent event, preserve the learnings and let go of the hurt all the way back to now. When you're done, float down into now and come back into the room.
Yeah.
Okay, welcome back.
Yep.
Another big one.
Yes, it is.
More tears coming out of the eyes too.
Yep.
Excellent. Well, the body releases the emotions in many different ways. Urination, perspiration, defecation, and expiration.
Yep.
And these tears that come out of the eyes, they've done research on this, and those tears that you're releasing now will have different chemical properties than a tear of, say, sadness. Very different. Okay, excellent. Now, Nini, can you remember any event in the past where you used to be able to feel that old emotion and go back and notice if you can feel it, or you may find you cannot?
No. I feel very tired, actually. No.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And I want you to go out into the future to an unspecified time in the future which, if it had happened in the past, you would have felt inappropriate or unwarranted hurt. And notice if you can find that old emotion, or you may find you cannot.
No. So weird. I feel love. Like that's how I feel. I feel love.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we say there's only one true emotion on the planet. What is it?
Love.
Love. And everything else is an illusion of that. And the goal of timeline therapy is to remove all of the negative emotions, to clean that emotional slate. And as you release the negative emotions, the one true emotion on the planet, what is it?
Love.
It comes back to the surface. Excellent. Excellent. Now let's work on the emotion of guilt. Is it all right for your unconscious mind for you to release this guilt today and for you to be aware of it consciously?
Yeah.
What is the root cause of this problem of you are not good enough? The first event which disconnected will cause the problem to disappear. If you were to know, was it before, during, or after your birth?
After
If you were to know, what age were you?
44.
44. Anything before that?
40.
40? Anything before that? Just ask your unconscious mind.
Yeah, I keep coming to numbers 40 or 44.
40 or 44? Okay, now I know that's going to be a significant emotional event, and what we want to do is we want to get to the root cause. So just ask your unconscious mind, what is the root cause of this? The first event, which when disconnected will cause the problem to disappear. If you were to know, was it before, during, or after your birth?
Past life.
Past life. That's what I thought. And how many lifetimes ago?
40.
40. Excellent. Now, I'd like to ask your unconscious mind to float up in the air above your timeline, into the past, and right down into the event 40 past lives ago. Right into position number 4. Looking through your own eyes, and when you're there, notice the emotion that's present.
Guilty.
Guilty. Now, float back up above the timeline and go to position number 3. Well before the beginning of the event, or any of the events that led to that event, and turn and look towards now. Ask your unconscious mind what it needs to learn from the event, the learning of which will allow you to let go of the emotions easily and effortlessly. Your unconscious mind can preserve the learnings so that if you need them in the future, they'll be there. When you have the learnings, tell me what they are.
I think the positive learning for me is that I need to remember is that, I'm a good mom. I'm using all the resources that I can at them to provide to the family. So I have to work. So positive learning also for me is that, which means when I'm working, or when I'm not working, I should just treasure those time with my child, with my children's. And I think another positive learning for me is that as a mom, I set a good example for my children's. I always proud of that, teach them that hard working is very important. And another positive learning for me is that I need to remember to give myself a credit is that I am a good mom. I doing everything I can with all the resources that I have. So, but also the positive learning is that treasure the moment I have with my child. When I work hard. When with the kids, I enjoy the moment being a mom. So the positive learning for me is that there's no conflict of mom and business. Mom and business. So positive learning is that I can manage that really, really well, having the balance of it. When kids at school, I enjoy what I'm doing. When they come home, I just be in the present with them, because I'm very important to them. So I think that's a positive learning is that I need to enjoy the role of being a mother. I think that's the message I get, is that I need to find more laughter in this role as a mother. I take it too seriously, so I think And like I said, there's no conflict of being a mom and doing the business. So that's just the frame I set to myself is not exist. So I think the learning for me is that I want to be the most coolest mom in the world, and having so much fun with them. I think that's the most important learning for me. I want to be the coolest mom and having so much fun and good memory with my children's.
Excellent. And are there any other positive learnings for you, for yourself, and for your future?
Another positive learning for me is that the better a person I become, the more impact I will bring into my children, and then they become even better children. They're gonna bring the better impact to the world. So I need to remember that I am that leads to lead them. So very important for me to make sure that I in a good state of mental and emotionally health. That very, very important. So positive learning is that I always have to maintain that good state of mind for myself. Yeah.
Excellent. Any other positive learnings for you, for yourself, and for your future?
I think enjoy life, having fun in life, having more laughter, say yes more. So I think I need to throw out a lot of rules in the frame. Kids have to, it's important they have manners, but also don't forget to bring more fun and laughter in the relationship. Yeah.
Excellent.
That's it.
Wonderful. Now, where is the emotion?
Oh, let's go.
It's gone. Where did it go?
I don't know, in my pillows.
Now, just float right down into the event and notice that the emotion has disappeared. Is the emotion totally gone? Good.
Yes.
Come back up to position number 3. Now, come back to now above your timeline only as quickly as you can let go of all the guilt on the events all the way back to now. Assume position through with each subsequent event, preserve the learnings, and let go of the guilt all the way back to now. When you're done, float down into now and come back into the room.
Yep.
Okay, welcome back.
Yep.
Okay, another big one.
Yep.
Wonderful. Now, when you're ready, can you remember any event in the past where you used to be able to feel that old emotion and go back and notice if you can feel it, or you may find you cannot?
No.
Not at all?
I just feel very relaxed. Feel like I want to sleep. Yeah.
Excellent. Now, I want you to go out into the future to an unspecified time in the future, which, if it had happened in the past, you'd have felt inappropriate or unwarranted guilt. And notice if you can find that old emotion, or you may find you cannot.
No. I feel I'm really ease. Now.
Excellent. When you're ready, come back to now. Okay. Excellent. Good. And as you mentioned, being at ease, we can see there that the coherence levels started to improve once again. Okay. How does the heart feel today?
I feel very calm. Body feel all of a sudden it's like a lot of when you have so much weight and now all the weight just pulling off, and it made you feel very sleepy. That's how I feel. I feel like I can have a sleep.
Well, they say that guilt is a very heavy emotion, and for people who carry a lot of guilt, it's very hard for them to judge their subjective body weight. So an example of that is let's say if you were to step on the scales today and your weight was 45 kilos, people who carry a lot of guilt, they might say, you know what, I believe my body weight is 50 kilos or 55 because it feels so heavy in the body. And just as you've explained it now, a lot of people say, I feel like the weight of the world is no longer on my shoulders. Sometimes people feel really weighed down by guilt, a heavy emotion. Okay, well, what we need from you now, Ninny, is to take a rest. We've gone through 5 major negative emotions today.
Yeah.
It can be quite tiring. It can be tiring, or it can be energizing. Everybody does it a little bit different. So we've released anger and sadness yesterday. We released anger and sadness again today, followed by fear, hurt, and guilt. And what I want you to do now is to have a rest for 24 hours. We'll come back tomorrow. We'll continue the intervention. And what's really important is you now listen to your body. If you feel like you've got a ton of energy, go for a walk. If you feel like you've lost your energy and your battery's flat, then follow the advice from your unconscious mind and go have a rest. And what we know is it takes about 2 weeks for the integration period to take place. By the time you send these new thoughts to your heart, once you start to communicate those new feelings throughout your body, and as you start to take new actions, then incrementally you'll make improvements day after day, and the integration period takes up to about 2 weeks. So enjoy your rest, and we will see you on our next session.
Thank you.